Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the beginning of something brand new that we have brought to you today. We are, of course, Cody and Jason of Mashing Joys, and we want to introduce to you guys the first installment of our highly anticipated new series we'll be running. We have lovingly called Mashing Joys Movie Reviews. Whoa. Or MJMR for short, which is probably what we'll be calling it most of the time.
Yep.
Basically how this works is we are going to be reviewing basically any movie we feel like. It could be the biggest blockbusters you see coming out, or it could be a movie we just kind of stumbled across, it's really what we want to watch. And of course, we will be having some special guests in future episodes, talking about all sorts of stuff, getting all sorts of opinions, and we're very excited for it. And we will be giving individual scores and a cumulative score at the end, so you guys can see in a number-based format how we feel about a movie, and you can decide for yourself whether or not you're going to see it. And of course, as it is with all reviews, these are just our humble opinions. So before you flame, ask, have I done it before? Yeah. But yeah, just don't flame us.
Yeah. Or do.
Or do. We probably deserve it, honestly. Yeah. And plus, it would be funny to read.
Yeah. So. We've already gotten one person banned from Twitter. Shout out Calbo.
Shout out Calbo. Welcome back.
Welcome back,
homie. Well, that dates this video. So when we first started this idea for MJMR, we the first movie that came to our head, which is the topic of this first episode, as you probably can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about Godzilla versus Kong today, which was the first movie, like I said, that we thought about reviewing for this series. First movie that we watched it together, release, like a couple weeks after release or something.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out HBO Max.
Shout out.
But let's talk about it. First off, just some formalities. Godzilla vs. Kong, obviously, movie released in the year 2021, directed by Mr. Adam Wingard, also known for movies like VHS, You're Alive, and that shitty Netflix Death Note movie. So, sorry, I really like Death Note, and that movie wasn't good. So, it's funny, but it's good. It isn't good. But let's talk. Jason.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
I didn't hate it. It's kind of like, this movie is kind of like that girl that you really want to like, but you just keep finding flaws, and you don't want to say it to her face to make her mad to the point where you'll never talk again. But at the same time, it's bugging you to the point where you have to say something. I thought that there were some really good acting scenes where like the plot and the characters really bought in and meshed well. And then there was a lot of points in the movie where it was just like, oof. I didn't like how the humor was forced. And I feel like Marvel did it so well that, you can have this action movie that's serious, but then you could throw in that humor to like really balance it. And a lot of these movies now are like trying that, and it's kind of like not your thing. So like, don't. There was a lot of humor in there that was forced. I feel like the cast that they chose, looking at it, like really good cast members.
Phenomenal cast.
Like obviously Millie Bobby Brown, 11, great actress, even at a young age. You have freaking Firefist from Deadpool.
Firefist.
He's like obviously annoying as fuck and
Yeah.
quite frankly unbearable, and probably the reason why my score is not going to be as high as it should. But then you have freaking Paperboy from Atlanta. You have the Isa chick from Baby Driver. I mean, there's so many characters. You have the dude from uh there's the dude from Gotham. You have, I mean, there's so many, like they pulled the chick from Black Panther. There was just so many good actors and actresses
There you go.
that were like, they're not huge names like big blockbuster pulls, but they're still like, oh hey, like they clearly are good at what they're doing. And I just didn't feel like their roles, like a lot of their roles really fit. Um, and I understand that they were taking two plot lines, obviously building King Kong's character, building Godzilla's character, and then meshing the two storylines. I think they did a really good job with that, like meshing the two storylines, finding a common ground. Like I feel like they did a good job there, but then I felt like a lot of it was rushed, like how they were getting Kong to help, and it's just like all that stuff was like so rushed, and then it was like boom, action scene. And the action scenes were fucking awesome. I mean, there were like the boat scene, like the ship scene, like fucking electric. Like that whole scene was outstanding. I thought the special effects were on point. That was one of those where like the acting was like the perfect amount of drama, because the action took care of it on its own. And then you know the characters have to interact because now it's affecting them. It's not just the CGI fucking monsters that they've made. So I thought they did a really good job there. And then the final scene was great. The two areas where I would give it like my, like where it really turned me off, three areas, was fucking Firefist was so fucking annoying. Like that character was so not needed, like at all. Like if Millie Bobby Brown needed a sidekick, like he didn't have to be a fucking psychopath, fucking anxious narc. Like unneeded. That's one. Two would have been how quickly, and I like, I mean, you make the rules. Do we want to do spoilers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Like the fucking Megazord, whatever the fuck his name is,
Mecha Godzilla.
Mecha Godzilla, like fucking ultimate villain. And he has fucking 15 seconds of screen time, 25 seconds of screen. What the fuck, man? Like, you have the greatest action scenes that we have seen since quarantine, and you're going to give us the greatest villain in this universe for fucking half a minute? Fuck you. Like, big fuck you. Like, that's a huge deduction in my book. And then the forced humor was just like too much for me. Like when we were watching it live, I was just like, all right, that was forced. Like I probably said that like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, that was forced. Like funny, but not like that funny. And like definitely not the right part of the movie to be making that joke.
Bro, that's cringe.
Yeah. So if for me, like my score, having said that, the action alone like would have gotten it up there. The forced humor and the bad acting parts and fucking Fire Fists and fucking just all of it, like 5.3.
5.3. Oh, you're going hard decimals.
5.3.
Okay.
I mean 5.36, but we'll do an odd round down to 5.3 because it sounds cooler than 5.4.
Okay, cool.
Because 5.4
We
just
round
seems
down,
like we're counting down.
You round down the 0.3 for Firefist. That brings your score down.
Boom. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yep.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. So 5.3 for me.
All right, that's a respectable score. Let me start by talking about a couple of things I didn't care so much for. As we've already alluded to, Firefist, not it. And, a lot of the forced humor gets kind of lumped in with him. And, I don't think it was necessarily like, his fault. It was very, like when you go into a monster film such as like Godzilla or King Kong, you kind of got to go in knowing like, is this going to be some of the blockbuster best writing you've ever seen in your life? No.
For sure.
And
they hitched their belts on the action.
Yeah, which I mean, with this movie, absolutely. Okay. So, Firefist sucked. He wasn't that funny. You know, there were some character moments that probably could have been explored a little more, but the action, amazing. Some of the best action I've seen in cinema, period. Okay. And I really like how the characters, like the monsters, were fucking characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had like motivations and shit, and they communicated, maybe not verbally, or maybe through like sign language, or even just a fucking glare or whatever, like they had character traits. So I thought that was really cool, something you don't really see very often in these style of movies. And overall it was a quality fun film. Okay, that's just how I feel about it. I didn't have a whole lot to say about this film, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I came for the action. They delivered for it. I got to make fun of Firefist. Like, we're in, baby. That's good shit.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I gave Godzilla vs. Kong my score of 5 out of 10.
Oh.
Because 5 for me is average.
Okay.
See, and that is my baseline that I'm sticking to for all of my reviews. Okay, is 5 is average. Is nothing to write home about. It was not terrible. It's a good watch.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the points you made, I agree with. Like, there's a lot of parts where like the development of the characters of Godzilla and Kong, they did a good job. Like when you talk, like if you were to sit back and think like Godzilla versus Kong, not only are we going to do like two worlds colliding, but we're also going to give it like an interdimensional feel.
Yeah.
And like, if you would have told me that, I would have been like, I'm out. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
thanks. I'm good. But like the way that they tied it in and the way that they made it work and the way that they kind of brought it all home and made it together. And then ultimately, like, you probably didn't see it like right off the bat, but then as the movie started going on, you started realizing like, okay, this isn't going to be a fucking you versus me kind of movie. This is going to be we don't like each other, but shit, we got to come together for the brand kind of thing. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I don't disagree with your score. I'm actually honestly surprised that mine was a little bit higher, but I think that overall, I would agree with what you said.
Yeah, I mean, nothing to say. Nothing like nothing really horrible to say about it,
other than Firefist sucked.
Other than Firefist, he sucked. Like,
but if you knew that going into it, then he might not suck as bad.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was kind of like, oh, fuck, Firefist. And then it was like,
yeah,
get him off the screen.
Yeah. Thankfully enough. See, this is kind of a double-edged sword I'm willing to fall on because I realize I'm going to contradict myself a little bit. Okay. So thankfully, with him being tied to Millie Bobby Brown, their sections were spaced out far more than anything else. Mm-hmm. Like most of the time you were getting Kong, Godzilla, Kong again, Millie Bobby Brown, Kong, Godzilla, Kong.
Yeah, because she had like her own storyline within it. Like her and Paperboy and Firefist were like on their own adventure, and then they were heading this way, and Godzilla and Kong were heading this way, and then they fucking peak right at the
like they all connected. Mm-hmm. So it was nice that that was spaced out more. The last act definitely felt a little rushed, especially like I feel like the opening segments were really like paced well. Like, okay, we've got to move Kong. How do we get him there? Boats, Godzilla attack, climax. There's your fucking act one. All right, now we got to go to Middle Earth. We go down there, fucking bam, bullshit happens. Act two. And then act three, they just shove a bunch of shit in there.
Yeah.
To make up for lost time. And it was, I mean, it's a 2-hour movie, which is crazy. That like
I feel like they did a good job too, like not necessarily because like there was a lot of like character rebuild for Kong. And
Yeah.
it's I feel like it's because that movie came out longer. Like it's been a longer time frame since that movie came out to the because the Godzilla movie just came out.
Yeah.
So it was like they
the
really
King
didn't
of
have to
Monsters
focus on
one.
God. It was almost like Godzilla was kind of like you just knew he was there. And it's like, oh, hey, by the way, this is Kong. This is how they're researching him. This is his relationship with everyone. And
Yeah.
this is that. And this, it was kind of like Kong kind of just blazed into the scene. And then it was like, okay, let's focus on Kong a little bit.
Yep.
Bring him back into the story. And I was like, oh, hey, by the way, Godzilla's still here.
Yeah.
And then
Godzilla's
it's like, okay,
here. Yep.
and so I think they did a good job there. But yeah, I mean, that's that like the first point of like them rushing the final scene was like that action scene was so good because that was one of those action scenes like the first action and not necessarily a knock on it because I don't want to keep pooping on this movie, but like the whole boat scene, like the action was so great, but you knew that nothing was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it was so early in the movie. The second scene or the second fight scene, like the big fight scene, was like so good because you really didn't know like who was gonna. You knew that like okay, they're gonna have to band together, but you didn't know who was gonna be victorious before they had to band together.
Yeah.
And like me thinking, I was like, well, it makes more sense to have Kong be that character because you know Kong can show sympathy, he shows empathy,
Yeah.
he you know he's more human like than Godzilla's more a monster, King Kong's more of a human.
We've spent more time with Kong, we empathize with Kong.
Correct.
And
they
crew.
fucking just flip that shit on its end and you were just like fuck. And then it, all right, fucking villain time. And then you look and it's like, oh shit, this movie's this long and we're like 5 minutes away from credits. Like,
yeah,
fuck. And then it was just bing, bang, boom, boop. All right, cool.
Happy
fuck
endings.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they set it up for another one to come out where that they fucking bring more shit. I don't know. But I feel like if that was going to be their end scene, then like I feel like more time should have been spent on that.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I think this movie could have been extended by like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool. For sure. Especially now with movies going way longer than they need to.
Yeah,
this was
like
one
it's
that could have for
it's
sure.
fucking ridiculous. We'll talk about it later, but there's something I want to talk to you about that. So 5.3 from you, 5 from me. Cumulative score.
I mean, do you want to come closer to me or am I going closer to you?
I don't know. I figure our cumulative scores could be whole numbers or maybe decimals of 5. So if we want to round up to a 5.5, doesn't hurt me either way.
Okay.
If we want to round down to a 5,
let's do decimal. I'm cool with half decimals. So I'm cool with 5.5.
5.5.
Cool,
I'm down with that. And just so everyone at home knows, we didn't really explain our cumulative score scale. So anything placed 1, 2, or 3 is gut-wrenching, fucking dog ass. Insufferable was the word you were using. Yes. I don't brain good, so I didn't remember the word. So insufferable. And then 4, 5, and 6, I have coined those movies to be the mediocre. Thank you. I know. Again, I'm involved with myself. And then 7, 8, and 9, those were the amazing movies. Those were the definitely like seek this out, watch it. And then 10s, the rare elusive 10 is certified mashing. Go buy this movie. It's going to be your next favorite movie, guaranteed.
Yep.
Okay, so 5.5, that is on the high end of the mediocre scale. It's kind of like the Richter scale, but fatter.
Every time I hear Richter scale, I just think of Weird Al.
I think of Andy Richter.
Okay.
Yeah, 5.5, great action, good effects, little rushed ending, kind of shallow characters. Those are your bullet points for this movie. I would say if you have the opportunity to watch this movie,
Check it out.
It's a good couple hours of your time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for MJMR 1.0 or 1.1. What are we calling this?
I mean, episode 1's fine.
Episode 1. We'll call it episode 1.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on our first ever adventure into the movie reviewing sphere of the internet. We are not the first people here, but we're the most important, damn it.
Ooh.
So,
Facts.
Next episode, we are going to be looking at the Angelina Jolie movie, Those Who Wish Me Dead. We got a little bit to say about that one, so you'll want to tune in. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're checking out the podcast video version on YouTube, audio versions available where podcasts are found. And make sure you're following us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Mashing Joys, twitch.tv/Mashing Joys to see my man Jason over here kicking it hard on the sticks, giving you some extra content to fill out your day. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this experience. We hope you enjoyed, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. So, as always, I have been Cody.
I'm still Jason.
And this has been MJMR episode 1. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. As always, be safe, get your vaccinations, eat your vegetables, and most importantly, y'all have a good day. See you.